Hi. This session is designed for the swimmers amongst you. We will be using, I'm going to be using a yoga block. If you haven't got one of those, you need something kind of that can stand on end and that you can lean on for support. So maybe like reusable water bottles, one of those solid metal water bottles, an upturned NutriBullet cup, maybe a thick book. I'm also going to be using a yoga strap. Instead of that, you could use a dressing gown belt or like a big towel or a long scarf. So within this session, we will do a bit of mobilization and a bit of strengthening. As far as your shoulders are concerned, we're going to be thinking about the muscles that help you pull your arms down from overhead, or the muscles that help you kind of sweep your arms back around behind you. For your legs, we'll think about the different parts of your hips and your legs that will be working for the different strokes. So how breaststroke perhaps compares to crawl, kicking legs. And then also a bit of gentle strengthening around your core to help with stability there, but also to help with the twisting action that you might need with some of your strokes. So let's start by lying down on the floor. Take your props with you. So as well as strength and mobility, we'll also be putting some emphasis on breath. I know for me when I swim, it's the breathing that I'm still really concentrating on rather than the technique stuff. So let's start lying down with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And just prop your hands somewhere on your lower belly. So elbows are resting on the floor, hands kind of at belly button height or lower. Make sure that you feel fairly comfortable here. You could put a pillow underneath your head if you prefer. And then start to tell your belly muscles they can relax. And try and breathe down towards where your hands are resting. So for some of you, this will feel easy. And this will feel like the natural way you breathe. So when you inhale, you feel your belly expand under your hands. For other people, this is kind of difficult. And so breathing down into your belly will tend to be the way you breathe when you're relaxed. But especially if you kind of trained yourself for a certain sport or discipline to constantly have stomach muscles switched on, it can be hard to consciously switch them off. So if breathing down into your belly is coming easily to you, fine. If it's not, don't be put off by that. Just keep thinking, feel where your hands are resting. Tell those tissues there, they can relax. And as you inhale, see if you can let your belly just gently expand into your hands. And as you exhale, without any effort, belly just sinks down towards the floor. And just a few more breaths like that. So we're going to briefly introduce 3 different ways of breathing, which we will use throughout our session. And then we might tie them all together at the end. So take note of how it feels to be breathing down into your belly. So if I give you that cue in a different position later, you remember what it feels like. And then now shift your hands up so they're on your lower ribs. Then take your hands wider apart, so on the sides of your ribs. So you can stay where you are. I'm going to sit up for a sec so you can see what I'm doing better. So I slid my hands up and then I took them around to the side. So for me, it's actually easier if I hook my thumbs kind of around the back side of my ribs and fingers are on the front. So that if you're wearing like a vest or a t-shirt, your hands are actually over the seams at the sides of your top. And now I want you to try and breathe into your hands where they are now. That was not a very well structured sentence. So feel where your hands are on the sides of your ribs and try and breathe towards them. That was better. So instead of when we were breathing down into belly, belly was going up and down, kind of closer to and further away from ceiling. Now, as you inhale, see if you can use your breath, your ribs, to push your hands wider apart from each other. And as you exhale, ribs and so hands sink back in towards each other. Inhale, ribs push out into hands. Exhale, rib cage circumference shrinks again. So you're still breathing slowly and steadily, but just directing the air and directing the movement from your breath into a slightly different area, which is going to be recruiting slightly different muscles. Okay. And then our last technique, slide your hands even higher up so that your fingers are resting right up on your chest. So if you can, maybe prop your fingers on your collarbones. And then take a few breaths up to there. So on an inhale, expanding your chest up to the ceiling and also up towards your chin. Exhale, chest deflates. Inhale, chest lifts and expands. Exhale, chest deflates. Great. Keeping going with that. Then take one more of those. Unhurried exhale. And when that exhale is done, just start to let any control of your breath go, so that breath returns just to whatever its natural pattern is. Take your arms out. If you've got space, you can take them out wide. I'm just going to shift this block out of the way. If not, have them more by your side, but let's have your palms facing the floor. So palms are going to kind of act as stabilizers. Bring both of your knees into your chest. Grab your brick or whatever prop you are working with. You could use a cushion for this as well. Put it between your knees and give it a bit of a squeeze. Then next time you inhale, roll your knees over to the right, like you were going to rest them on the floor, but don't actually rest them down. As you exhale, bring them back up. Inhale, take knees over to the left. Exhale, bring them back up. Great, keep going with that. Inhale, knees to right. Exhale, knees to ceiling. Inhale, knees to left. Exhale, knees to ceiling. Keep going with that. So we're working inner thighs a little bit, depending on how hard you're squeezing your prop. If you realize you've just forgotten to squeeze it again, keep doing that. We're working a bit sides of your waist and outer hips. So see if you can feel when you're pulling your legs up from the right, can you feel your left side switching on to help you do that? When you pull your legs up from the left, can you feel right side helping you out? And then also, perhaps not quite so obvious, the backs of your shoulders are also getting a little bit of work here. So the backs of your shoulders are acting to stabilize your upper body. If your shoulders just switched off, when you took your legs over to one side, then just all of you would roll over. Okay, so next time you bring your legs up from the left-hand side, let's make that your last side and just pause in center. Great. Remove the block, put it to one side. Straighten both your legs along the floor. Take your feet over to the right. So you end up lying a bit wonky, and cross your right ankle on top of your left. Reach both your arms overhead. Take hold of your left wrist with your right hand. As you breathe in, just reach your arms away from your head. As you breathe out, take your hands over to the right. So you're making like a banana shape on the floor. The left side is lengthening. And then remember when we had your hands on the sides of your ribs? Now see if you can send your breath into your left side. So any sensation of stretch you get in your left side from being in this banana shape, as you inhale, it's like you're trying to use your breath to accentuate that. And then you just let the exhale flow out. Take one more inhale, left side of ribs. As you exhale, take your hands back to center again. Uncross your ankles. Now take your legs a step, well, back to center and then over to the left. Grip your right wrist with your left hand. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, take your hands over to the left. So that same crescent or banana shape, but now the right side is the one that's lengthening. So if this feels kind of pinchy on your shoulders, instead of having arms all the way overhead, you can maybe take them out into like a capital Y shape. If it feels okay, then you're good where you are. And now you're trying to breathe into the right side of your ribs. So asking the stuff in your sides, which works to twist your body side to side when you're swimming, if that's what your stroke requires. And stuff down the sides of your back that runs up and attaches to your arm. They work to pull your arms down from overhead. Just giving all of that stuff a bit of a stretch. Take an inhale into right side of ribs. As you exhale, bring yourself out of that shape. Bring arms down by your side, hug knees into chest, give yourself a squeeze. Maybe rock a little bit side to side so lower back gets kind of a massage on the floor. Then make your way over to all fours. And if being on hands and knees is uncomfortable on your knees, you can maybe put a blanket under them. If it's uncomfortable on your wrists, you could perhaps be on fists instead. Straighten your left leg back behind you, but have your toes tucked under. And then gently press your heel back. So you're looking to feel your left calf. So that's bottom portion of lower leg to lengthen a bit. And remembering when you had your hands resting on your belly at the beginning of class and we were breathing down into belly, try and send breath down towards there again. Take an inhale here. Come back to all fours. Exhale, straighten right leg back behind you. Tuck your toes under, press back through that heel. Notice, do your two sides feel the same or different? So I know for me, right now, my right calf feels like it's a little bit tighter than my left one was. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, come back to all fours. So you can stay as you are. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing a bit better. Walk your hands around on a quarter circle to the right so that your fingers end up pointing towards the right side of your room. Then just your left hand, slide it away from you, reaching towards the right side of the room. So again, we're looking for a bit of a stretch in your left side. Now with your left fingertips, when they won't walk any further away from you, grip the floor and create the action of trying to pull the floor back towards you. And think about pressing the left side of your ribs out into more of a curve. You might find you need to shift the position of your right hand So for me, just a little bit, what I'm doing is, well, my left hand is pulling strongly towards me, but with my right hand, I'm almost pushing the floor away to try and maximize that feeling of length in my left side. So anywhere from like left side lower back, up side of waist, side of ribs, up to left armpit. Anywhere in that continuum, I'm looking for you to feel stuff lengthening and try and breathe into it. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, walk your hands back to normal all fours. And then same thing, other side. So kind of pad your hands around in a full half circle this time. So now fingers end up pointing to the left. Reach your right hand towards the left side of your room. I actually prefer to step my left hand a little bit that way as well. When your right fingers won't walk any further away from you, with your fingers grip the floor. And with your right hand, pull the floor back towards you. And rather than leaning that way, think about pushing your right ribs out into more of a curve. And try and breathe into that side. Like each time you inhale, you're trying to spread each of your right side ribs a little bit further apart from their neighbors. Take an inhale here. Exhale, release, walk back to all fours. And step your right foot forwards into a lunge. Wiggle your back knee back a bit. Come up onto your fingertips. Walk your hands back a little step. So your fingers are maybe kind of in line with your heels rather than in line with the middle of your foot. So what we're going to do next, your front leg does not have to straighten all the way. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to straighten that front leg a bit. In particular, come up onto your heel and draw your toes back towards your face. And just straighten your leg as much as you need to feel a stretch down the back of it. So for like a minority of people, probably that would involve straightening it completely. For most people, they're not going to have to straighten it the whole way. So just shift back until you feel that stretch. Let's move in and out of that. Inhale, rebend front knee, foot flat. Exhale, shift your weight back, toes towards your face. Inhale, bend front knee, foot flat. Exhale, shift your weight back. Inhale, bend front knee. Exhale, shift weight back. Different this time. Inhale, bend front knee. Exhale, shift your weight back. Pause there for a few extra breaths. Now with your front heel, press down into the floor and create the action of trying to drag your heel towards you. So it's almost like you're trying to pull your mat or the carpet or the floorboards towards you with your front heel. Inhale, rebend front knee. Exhale, step back to all fours. Then other side, step your left foot forwards. Come up onto fingertips. Shuffle back knee back a bit so your stride is as long as it feels like it will reasonably go. Walk your hands back a little step. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, shift your weight back. Come up onto front heel. Inhale, bend front knee, foot flat. Exhale, shift your weight back. Keep on going with that. Inhale, bend front knee. Exhale, shift weight back. Inhale, bend your knee. Exhale, shift your weight back. Keep going with that. So you're just shifting until you feel stuff start to stretch. So sometimes, in your sports, you may have trained yourself to kind of push through any feeling of discomfort. That's not wrong. That's just not how we're working in this discipline, in this session. Instead, think of this as like therapy for your body. You want your body to feel better afterwards. Next time you straighten your front leg, pause like that. Press your front heel down into the floor and then create the action of trying to drag this heel back towards your back knee. You may feel more sensation kick up in the back of your leg. That's the feeling of your hamstring switching on So engaging a bit while they're in this stretched out position. On an inhale, rebend front knee, foot flat. Exhale, step back, all fours. Then tuck all your toes under, keep a little bend in your knees, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. So you're making like a triangle shape where the floor is the base of the triangle and your bum is the point at the top. Push the floor away, send your hips up and back like you're trying to sharpen that point. Then as you inhale, lift your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, step your foot forwards between your hands. If it doesn't quite get there, you just grab it and bring it. Take an inhale here. Exhale, bend your back knee almost to the floor, but don't rest it down. Inhale to straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Perfect. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Next time you end up with your back leg straight, pause like that. Imagine you were trying to pull your front knee forwards to the front of your room, but at the same time, your back heel is trying to pull to the back of your room, like your legs are getting longer. Breath in like that. Breath out, step back, downward facing dog. So hips go up and back. You can always drop your knees down to get back here if that makes that transition easier. On an inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot forwards. Help it if it needs it. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, bend back knee almost to floor. Inhale to straighten it. Exhale to bend it. Keep going with that. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. So in the last maneuver, when we were bending and straightening front leg, we were focusing mainly on lengthening backside. Now we're thinking more, we were lengthening backside of front leg. Now in this maneuver, we're focusing mainly on back leg. And you might feel the backside of it working help straighten, so the right side of your bum. You might feel, for me, I feel it mainly in front side of the thigh. So that stuff there is being asked to lengthen and engage a bit. Next time you end up with back leg straight, pause like that. Again, front knees pulling forwards, back heels pressing back. Take a breath in. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale where you are. As you exhale, walk your feet to your hands. So you end up in a standing forward fold, i.e. bending over. If your strap or your belt, whatever you had is nearby, grab it and then come up to stand. Okay. So hold your strap overhead like this. We're about to take your arms back behind you. If you get stuck, all you need to do is take your arms a bit wider apart on the strap, okay? I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing better. Take an inhale up into your chest. As you exhale, take your arms just a bit back. If they're getting stuck already, take your hands wider apart on the strap. Inhale up into your chest. Exhale, take arms down a bit. Yes, inhale, chest. Exhale, arms lower down. Inhale, chest. Exhale, arms lower down. If you're at the bottom, pause. If you need to go one more time to get there, then go for it. And then once you're down, give your shoulders a wiggle. So there was probably a point about maybe here where all of a sudden it felt like a stronger stretch in your chest. When you get to that point this time, we're going to hold it there. So reach arms overhead. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, take arms back a bit. Inhale up into chest. Exhale, arms drop down. Perfect. Inhale, chest. Exhale, arms drop down. If you're there, then park it. If you're not quite there yet, I've just hit it. Then lower down until you get there. And then let's just take 3 deep breaths up into your chest. So while you're here and the strap is acting to stretch your chest for you, also think about squeezing your 2 shoulder blades towards each other. Take an inhale, exhale, come down. Great. Give shoulders a wiggle. put the strap to one side. Let's step your feet out wide. Okay, so if it's going to be hard for you to touch the floor with straight legs, you want to grab your block and have that handy. I'll have mine just nearby. Stand with your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, fold down towards the floor. You could put your fingertips on the floor, or you could put them on your prop or anything that you have handy. Then turn both sets of toes to point out about 45 degrees. As you inhale, bend one knee and just lunge a bit over to the side. So if when you do that, your knee way overshoots your ankle, it just means you could do with taking your legs a bit further apart. Then next time you inhale, shift, switch sides. Exhale, first side again. Inhale, second side. So just moving slowly in time of breath. So what you're looking for here is a feeling of lengthening down the inseam of your legs, so inner thighs, as we shift from side to side. So far we've paid a bit of attention to backs of legs, fronts of legs, insides. We've yet to hit the outside of your hip. Okay. Next time you pass through center, pause like that. Make your feet parallel. Keep your right hand on the floor or on the block. Put your left hand on your left hip. Start to push your hand down into the floor so that your chest turns to the left. And when your chest won't turn anymore, reach your top arm up to the ceiling. Take a breath in there. As you breathe out, untwist both hands down. Left hand stays on floor or block, right hand on right hip. With your hand, try and push through the floor. So we're using the strength of right shoulder to help you turn your chest to the left. When chest won't turn anymore, reach left arm up. Take an inhale. Exhale, untwist. Great. Heel toe your feet towards each other. And then when you are ready, come up to stand. Okay, if you're working on a yoga mat, step to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, fold down towards your legs. Maybe bend your knees a little bit. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins to your knees. Pull your chest forwards. As you exhale, let's take fingertips down to floor. So bend your knees if you need. Step right foot back to a lunge. Drop that knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, reach your right arm forwards and left arm back. So your chest turns to the left. Inhale, reach right fingertips past your front tiptoes. Exhale, put that hand down on the inside of your front foot. Inhale, turn chest to the left. Hold here, keep breathing. You could keep back knee on the floor. You could tuck your back toes under and straighten your back leg. Take a breath in where you are. As you breathe out, untwist both hands down, downward facing dog. Take an inhale. Exhale, step your right foot forwards. Drop back knee down to floor. Let's go same thing on other side. Inhale, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, reach left arm forwards, right arm back. Inhale, reach your left fingertips past your front foot. Exhale, drop that hand down. Push bottom hand into floor. Inhale, turn chest to right, reach top arm up. Exhale, both hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Then next time you inhale, shift forwards to plank position. Drop your knees, exhale, lower down to the floor. Grab your strap, drape it over your bum and hold it, one hand on either side of strap. Let's have fingernails facing the floor, back to hands facing up. Next time you inhale, lift your arms, your legs, your chest up away from the floor. Shoulder blades draw away from your ears. Take a breath in there. Breath out, lower down and rest. You might maybe turn your face to one side. You might prop your forehead on your hands. We're going to do that one more time, but add to it a little bit. So reach back, grab your strap again. When you're ready, lift arms, legs, and chest up. Take your shoulders away from your ears. Keep everything lifted. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, turn chest to the left. Inhale, turn chest back to floor again. Exhale, turn to right. Inhale, turn chest to floor again. Pause there. Exhale, lower down. Put the strap to one side. Roll over onto your back. Then let's have your feet maybe about hip width apart. Arms by your side. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press down into feet, press down into arms, lift your bum, come up bridge pose. Take an inhale where you are. Exhale, come down. Bring the soles of your feet together and your knees apart. Take a breath in. Exhale, press your heels together, press down into elbows, lift your bum up with your knees still wide. Inhale at the top. Exhale, come down. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Last version of bridge. Take your feet a decent step away from your bum. And then flex your feet so you're just on your heels. So the first version of bridge we did mainly strengthening for back of bum, glute muscles. The second version is a little bit more outer hip, so still some parts of glutes, but just a slightly different part. Now with feet further away and up on your heels, it's going to work more hamstrings. So take an inhale. Exhale, press down into heels, press elbows down, lift bum. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lower down. Let's have both feet flat on the floor. And just take a moment, couple of deep breaths down into belly. And then simply cross the outside of your left ankle over your right thigh. So you could choose to just kind of chill out here for a bit. Or another version of this would be to pick your bottom foot up off the floor, use your bottom leg to bring your top leg in towards you. So working it this way is going to be a bit more stretch for left hip and a bit of strength for right hip. If you prefer, you could use your hands to hold your right leg up. So that's going to take away the strengthening of right leg, but it might bring a bit more stretch in left hip. You can decide which one you prefer. I'm going to go for the middle option. And then just a little bit, just very gently, rock your legs just slightly side to side. And you might inhale as you go one way, and then exhale as you go the other way. So just a very slight, very gentle twisting for spine, but also tapping into that left hip from a range of different angles. And then next time you pass through center, pause. Whichever version of this you were doing, let's do the same thing on the other side. So right ankle is on top. It might be that you have left foot on the floor. It might be that your left leg is lifting your right leg up. It might be that you're using your hands to hold your left leg up. And then again, just gently rocking legs from side to side. And then slowly bring those rocks to a halt. Uncross your legs. Hug your knees into your chest. If you liked the rocking, you could rock a bit here. If you're ready to just be still, then be still. Then one at a time, bring both your feet down onto the floor. If it's more restful for you to take your feet a little bit wider and knock your knees in together, you could go for that. If you'd prefer to just straighten your legs along the floor, that'd be another option. And then remember at the beginning of the session when we took a few breaths down into belly, and then some into ribs, and then some into chest. Now we're going to add all of those together and finish with a yoga technique called 3-part breathing. So I'll tell you what we're going to do first, and then we can do it. So I'm going to ask you to inhale just a little bit down into your belly and then pause. Then without exhaling, we'll inhale a bit more into the sides of your ribs and then pause. And then a little bit more up into your chest. Pause. And then it will just be one long, slow exhale. So you need to not breathe in too much down into belly, because otherwise you'll run out of air by the time you get to the top. So if my counts go too slow or too fast for you, you can just use my voice as a guide. Don't kind of stress or strain to stick exactly with me. So let's take a complete exhale to start. And then inhale just down into your belly a little bit and pause. Inhale into ribs, pause. Inhale chest, pause. Long, slow exhale. Inhale belly, pause. Inhale ribs, pause. Inhale chest, pause. Exhale. Inhale belly. Inhale ribs. Inhale chest. 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 Exhale. If you like that, you can keep doing it. If you've had enough, you can start to let it go. Either way, let's just have a few more just quiet breaths here. And just notice how you feel now. So feeling which parts of you touch the floor most strongly. Feeling yourself breathe. Noticing any sensation that stands out anywhere. So maybe neck or shoulders, hips, anywhere else. Then one at a time, hug both your knees into your chest. When you're ready, make your way up to sit. And try and choose a sitting position where you feel fairly upright. So you don't have to sit on your heels like me. You could sit cross-legged if you prefer. Either way, let's bring your palms together and thumbs to chest. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, drop your chin.